Hello everyone, it's Cheryl here from Love and Light Yoga, and thank you so much for clicking on this video and joining me for a full body yoga stretch. So if we are a little bit tight, if we just feel like we need a full all over body stretch, you have come to the right place. You won't need anything for this, just yourself, your mat, maybe a drink of water, and if you are ready, let's begin. So we are going to get started today sitting down on our mats. I'm going to be cross-legged, but you can be whatever position is more comfortable for you. But whatever position you are in, just start to feel the base of your body grounding down into your mat. So feel your sit bones and your hips starting to root down in towards your mat, feeling nice and heavy. And allow your spine to grow tall. So if we imagine that someone has a little string from the crown of our head and they're pulling us up nice and gently, sitting a little bit taller while also relaxing the shoulders. So relax your shoulders down and away from your ears. And we'll just start to check in straight away with our neck. So really simply, we're just going to start to send the gaze from side to side. So just bring a little bit of movement side to side into the neck, just to start to warm everything up. And we're going to try to keep the body still, try to keep the chest forward facing. So the only movement here coming from your neck. Just starting to check in, see how that feels. Maybe one side is a little bit tighter than the other. And then coming back to center, doing the same thing again, just this time taking the gaze up and then down. So as we come up, we're going to start to feel this nice stretch in through the front of the throat. As we bring the chin towards the chest, we're getting a little bit of a stretch in through our neck, the back of our neck. So just sending the gaze up and down. Again, just noticing how this is beginning to feel for us. And then the next time that we have the chin in towards the chest, we can stop and we're just going to find a few little half neck circles. So just rolling one ear to one shoulder and then back through center across to the other side. And keep the spine tall here. And keep this movement nice and fluid. Just slowly taking our time to work out any little areas of tightness or any little knots in the neck. Just slowly rolling the ear from side to side. And if we do find an area that is a little bit tighter than the rest of the neck, feel free to stop there and maybe send a few extra breaths into that space. And then the next time that we have the chin in towards the chest, we can stop. We can lift the gaze back up and we can start to get a nice big stretch in through the upper body. So release your arms down by your sides. As we inhale, we're going to take the fingertips out towards the side, reach up nice and high, bring the palms together and exhale our hands down through heart center. Nice, and again, big breath in, we reach up, we keep the sit bones grounded, feel that stretch in through both sides of the waist. Exhale, hands come down. And again, we take a nice big inhale, reach those hands up nice and high, palms come together, and exhale, hands come down through center. Let's take one more big inhale to reach the hands up high, only this time as we exhale, we're going to come into our cactus arms. So bend those elbows and keep that 90-degree bend in the elbows. You can spread your fingertips wide here so that your palms are facing forwards. And again, find that tall spine. So notice if you have started to sort of slouch forward a wee bit. If you have, sit nice and tall. And then keep the elbows moving towards the back of the room. So we're going to start to feel the shoulder blades coming together at the back. We're going to feel this broadness in through the chest and the shoulders. We're going to try to keep the arms here. Take a big breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to start to turn towards the left hand side. So again, we are staying grounded through our hips. Think about trying to turn your chest here towards the side of the room. Take a big inhale and a full exhale. Let's drop the right hand onto the left knee. Bring the left hand out behind the hips onto fingertips. Take a big breath in to sit tall and then exhale to find your twist. So feeling a little bit of a twist coming in through the midsection of the back here. Keep thinking about sitting a little bit taller every time we inhale. Maybe twisting just a little bit further every time we exhale. Maybe your gaze is out towards the side of the room. It might even be over that left shoulder. Just keep breathing here. And then after your next full exhale, we can release nice and gently from this twist. Come all the way back to forward facing with the hands up. Take a big inhale. As we exhale, once again, find those cactus arms. So bend the elbows 90 degrees, press the elbows towards the back of the room. Find that grounding in through the hips, in through the sit bones. We're going to find our twist on this side. So let's start to twist our upper body round towards the right hand side of the room. Still staying tall through the spine, still trying to keep that broadness in through the chest. We don't want this left arm to come round with us. We want to keep it nice and wide. Take a big inhale. Take a full exhale. And then let's bring the left hand onto the right knee. Right hand comes out behind the hips, maybe onto fingertips. Inhale to sit tall in your spine. Exhale to twist the spine. Nice, so finding our easy twist on this side. Staying nice and tall, crown of the head reaching high. Maybe twisting a little bit more with every breath out. Let's take one more full round of breath here in your own time. And then after your exhale, nice and slowly untwist yourself all the way back to center. Nice. From here, we're just going to bring the fingertips onto the shoulders, and we're just going to start to make some big shoulder rolls here. So almost like we were drawing big circles with our elbows. We can start the circles quite small. See if, as the shoulders and the arms listen up, can we maybe start to take the circles a little bit bigger? Let's go for one or two more in your own time. And then release the fingertips all the way down. And we're going to release the legs here. So if you are in cross-legged, we're going to bring the legs out long in front of us. So both legs are coming out long, and we're just going to start with a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of movement for the feet. So really simply, we're just going to start to point the toes away and then flex the toes back towards the face. So we're pointing the toes away, flexing the toes back. And we're just going to do that for a few breaths. In my daughter's ballet class, this is our good toes and this is our naughty toes. So we're just doing our good toes, naughty toes here. Little bit of flexion in through the ankles. And then instead of the point and flex, can we start to take those ankles into some circles? So just circling them around. You're probably going to hear my ankles click a lot. So just circle them around one way and then the other. Again, just keeping that movement in through the ankle joints. We don't want to forget about our feet. And then come back to stillness. And we're going to bring in the left knee. So bringing in the left knee, we're going to keep the right leg long. You can have the knee completely straight, or you can have a little bend in through the right knee if that feels better for you. And the left knee is going to be brought in towards your body. So it's up to you where you want it to be in relation to your body. The sole of your foot can be away down here, or it can be all the way up here, wherever allows you to sit nice and tall in your back. So wherever that is, can we imagine the string from the crown of our head once again pulling us up tall? Can we take a nice big inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky, And then we're going to find another twist. So we're going to bring the right hand onto the left knee, left hand comes out behind. We're going to inhale, sit tall, exhale, find your twist. So we can stay here using this right hand as a little bit of leverage on the knee or on the thigh. Or if the flexibility allows, you can hook the outside of the right elbow onto the outside of the left knee. And again, use that as a little bit of leverage to help pull yourself round. So we're finding that twist. We're also going to be mindful that we're keeping the right leg switched on here. So we want to keep the right toes pointing up towards the sky. We're here for a few deep breaths. And then after your exhale, slowly start to release the right arm, untwist yourself all the way back through center. Keep the left knee bent in, and we're just going to open it out towards the side. So the sole of your left foot is going to be somewhere along the inside of the right leg. And again, it doesn't matter where it is. It could be all the way down here. It could be all the way up here. Again, just wherever allows you to sit nice and tall. So we find that length through the back. We're going to bring the fingertips either side of the straightened leg, and we're going to find our Janusarsasana here, so our one-legged forward fold. So hands are either side of the leg. We take a big breath in, sit tall. As we exhale, just slowly start to walk the fingertips down either side of the leg. And once we are met with a little bit of resistance in our body, that's where we're going to stop, and that's where we're just going to relax the upper body down. Nice, so keep breathing here. Keep releasing tension as you exhale. Notice where you're releasing tension from. So this is going to feel different for everybody. Some people are going to feel this very much through the right hamstrings, maybe in through the left hip, maybe it's the low back, maybe it's the shoulders. Wherever it is for you, you're just breathing into that space. Keeping the breath long and smooth. Let's take one more big inhale here. Take a full exhale. And then slowly begin to lift the gaze. Walk the hands all the way back up towards your hips. If your left knee needs a little bit of help coming in, you can help it to come in. Bring both soles of the feet onto the floor this time. We're just going to sit back on the hands a little bit, just like we were sort of chilling out on the beach. And then just let the knees sort of windshield wiper side to side here. So we're not doing anything fancy, just taking a bit of a breather, relaxing any tension out of the hips, out of the legs. Just letting those knees fall right and then left. And then coming back to center, we're going to do the same little sequence on the other side. So let us start by bringing both legs out long once again. And then this time we're going to bring the right knee in. So paying attention to the legs here, your left leg is out long. Again, you decide whether you want to have the knee completely straight, maybe a little bit of a bend, helps you to sit taller. We want to keep the legs engaged by keeping the toes pointed up towards the sky. And then decide where you want this right foot to be. So it might be a little bit further, it might be a little bit closer to the body. This side could feel completely different from your other side, so just work with your body and how you're feeling here. But again, start to root down through your sit bones. We're going to take a big inhale, reach both hands up nice and high, find that length in the body. Take a big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to find our twist. So twist open towards the right. Left hand can come onto the right knee. Right hand comes out behind. And then we find our position here. So maybe we're holding on to the knee. Maybe we're wrapping the arm around. Or maybe even hooking the outside of the elbow onto the knee. Nice. So keep breathing. Keep thinking about sitting tall as we inhale. Twisting as we exhale. The left leg still engaged, toes still pointed up towards the sky. We're getting a bit of a deeper stretch in through the spine, or deeper twist, sorry, in through the spine, and a deeper stretch in through the hips. Nice, let's take one more big inhale here. Take a full exhale. And then slowly release the left arm, untwist yourself back to center. Keep the sole of the right foot in, and then this time just let the knee drop out towards the side. So coming into our one-legged forward fold. So wherever we are letting the right hip crease relax. We are letting the knee feel heavy, just letting gravity take it out towards the side here. We're keeping the left leg engaged. Hands are either side of the leg. Let's take a big inhale to sit tall, and exhale very slowly. Start to walk the hands down either side of the leg. Again, once we feel that little bit of resistance in the body, we want to stop and we want to think about just draping the upper body down and over the leg here. So find your breath here, nice deep inhales and full exhales. Keep releasing from wherever you are feeling this the most. Breathing into your right hip, your right thigh, back of the left leg, your lower back. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, can you maybe relax just a little bit further? For our last breath in your own time. And then after your exhale, nice and slowly start to walk the hands all the way back up towards the hips. We can bring our hands onto the outside of the right knee to help it come in, and then send that leg long to meet the left. So we are now seated with both legs out long. We are going to find a forward fold. So again, both knees can be completely straight or they can be bent. It doesn't really matter. This is not so much about folding ourselves in half as it is about just creating space in the body. So wherever we are, can we take a big inhale to reach our hands up nice and high? As we exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward from our hips. We're going to keep both legs engaged, toes are pointed up towards the sky. We're slowly coming forward, keeping the spine long. And then when we are met with that resistance, we're going to drop the hands down either side of the legs and then release the upper body. Just keep breathing here. Notice all of the space that you are creating in through your lower back and through the backs of the legs. Just release your upper body down here. We're not trying too hard. We're not trying to do anywhere or to go anywhere, sorry. We're not trying to get to any particular position. All we want to do is let go. So just release and see where your body takes you. A few deep breaths. Take a big full inhale. As you exhale, just ask yourself, can I release just a little bit more? And then after your next exhale, we can slowly release. We start to lift the gaze, we can lift the chest, walk the hands all the way back up towards the hips. And then from here, we're just going to cross the legs and we're going to rock ourselves forward onto our hands and our knees into our tabletop. Cool, so here we are in our tabletop. We're just going to flow through some cat-cows. So we sort of want to have the wrists underneath the shoulders. We want to have the knees underneath the hips with a little bit of space in between the knees. And we're just going to start to flow with the breath here. So as we inhale, we're going to look forward, roll the shoulders back, point the tailbone high, cow. As we exhale, we're going to tuck the chin into the chest, press the mat away, arch the upper back, our cat. And again, we inhale, look forward, open the chest, tailbone up. Exhale, chin to chest, press and arch the upper back. And again, inhale forwards. And we're just going to continue on like this, just in time with your own body. We are inhaling to come forward. We are exhaling to round it under. And we want to focus on the sensation through the spine here. So we want to start to feel this movement through all parts of the back, all the way from the neck, down the mid-back, down the lower back to the tailbone. And then if this is feeling good for you, you can stick with your cat-cow. If you want to make this more of a rolling motion, as we exhale and we're arching the upper back away, we're going to start to sit the hips back towards the heels. And then as we inhale, we're going to start to bring ourselves forward. So almost like we were dragging our chest and our nose along the mat, coming all the way back to our cow. As we exhale, we push the back away, we send the hips back, and we inhale to roll the body forwards all the way into cow. Nice, and then just continue on like this. Maybe not worrying so much that it looks exactly like what I'm doing. It doesn't need to look like this at all, as long as it is feeling good in your body, it's feeling good in your spine. You are doing it right. Let's take one more in your own time. And then the next time that we are moving back, we're going to keep the hips back, we're going to keep the arms long, and we're going to find a child's pose here. So you might want to send your knees a little bit wider, walk the hands forward, and then relax your forehead down. So your forehead may come to the mat, it may come to your hands or a block. But just breathe. Whatever this child's pose looks like for you, think about melting your chest down towards the floor. Think about breathing deeply, relaxing your mid-back, your upper back, your lower back. Using this as a little reset. Noticing how the body feels before we move on with some more stretches. And so taking our last few breaths here. And then after your next exhale, let's release from our child's pose. We're all going to come up and we're going to meet once again in our tabletop, and we're going to find a little bit of a stretch for the lower half of the body. So from your tabletop, we're going to start to lift the right toes, and we're going to send the right toes away. We're going to try and keep the abs engaged here, and the leg doesn't have to be lifted super high. It can be a little bit, it can be up and in line with the hip, but we're just going to point the toes and send that leg long. So think about making that leg as long as it can be. Imagine that someone has grabbed your big toe and they are pulling your leg long. We want to feel a nice big stretch in through the front of the right hip here. Take a big inhale and exhale. And then can we step that right leg up and in between our hands so that we are in our low lunge. So make this low lunge as comfortable for you as it can be. If being here is a little bit uncomfortable, you might want to walk your back knee in a little bit, or if you want a deeper stretch, you can walk the back knee further away towards the back. But from here, let's find a little bit of movement. So we're going to try to keep the hands on the floor. And if it's a little bit difficult, we can use blocks or books or whatever we have just to lift the floor up to us. But let's find some movement. So let's start to send the hips back so that we are straightening out through the front leg and then coming back forward with the hips. So just rocking the hips forwards and back, inhaling as we come forward, exhaling as we come back. And just moving through this, however it feels good for you, whether that is at a slower pace, whether that is at a quicker pace, just whatever is allowing you to feel a good stretch through the hips, through the legs, through the hamstrings. We're going to be feeling it absolutely everywhere here in both legs. And then the next time that we exhale and we're sending the hips back, we're going to stop into our half splits. So from here, it doesn't matter if this front leg isn't completely straight, that's okay, it doesn't matter. But what we want to think about doing here is pulling the right hip back and pressing the left hip forward so that we have the hips squared off towards the front of the mat. If it feels comfortable for you, you might even lift the right toes off the floor. We are feeling a big deep stretch all the way up the right hamstrings here. We're just going to be here for a few breaths. Slowly starting to release the upper body down over that straightened leg. Keep breathing nice and deeply. And then after your exhale, plant the right foot back onto the floor, bring your hips forward, bend the front knee, and return back to your low lunge. Nice. From here, we're going to take a big inhale. We're going to reach the hands up towards the sky, keep the hips low, and then maybe we drop the hands behind our back. We're going to see if we can interlink the hands here. We're going to think about rolling the shoulders back so we're open through the chest, taking those hands down almost like you were trying to bring them towards the floor, maybe lifting them away from the body, and then maybe looking up with the gaze. We're here for just a few breaths, so breathing deeply, feeling that big stretch in through the very front of the left hip flexor here. Take a big breath in, take a full breath out, and then release the arms, bring them back down onto your mat, and take your attention down towards your front foot. We are going to bring this right foot onto the outside of the right hand, so let's tiptoe that foot out so that it's coming towards the outside edge of your mat, and we are going to find our lizard posture here. So if this is enough for you, this is where you're going to stay. We'll take this in stages. If it feels good to start to roll onto the outside of that right foot, so onto the pinky toe side of the foot, so we're opening the knee out towards the side. We're going to do that. We're going to feel a big stretch in through the inside of the right thigh. Just keep breathing, just work with that, and just work with wherever your body is today. If you're here on your hands and you're feeling good, you might want to drop down to one elbow, maybe to two elbows. And just send a few big breaths into the hip here. This is such a good hip opener. Few big breaths, and then returning back to the hands. If we are on the elbow, we're going to return back to the sole of the foot, and then from here we're going to find our pigeon. So we're going to start to tiptoe that right foot all the way back through center, and then we're going to let it come all the way towards the left hand side of the mat. We're going to drop the knee down and bring the front, sort of the shin of the right leg down somewhere onto the mat. We're going to start to walk the left foot back and find your pigeon position, so that if you see this from the front, we sort of have this crisscross going on where the knee is out towards the right hand side, the left toes are somewhere towards the left hand side of the mat. And whatever this looks like for you, we are thinking about relaxing the hips down and into this, into our pigeon pose. We can stay high here. We might drop down to the elbow. We might drop all the way down so our forehead is on the floor. Or if you want a little bit of a bigger stretch in through the front of the left thigh, We can start to twist the body around towards the left, bend that left knee, and see if we can take a hold of that foot. This is just an option, so you decide for you what feels best, whether that is staying high on both hands, whether it's bringing that bend in the knee, whether we're all the way down on the floor. But whatever position you have chosen to be in, just take a few deep breaths. And then as you exhale, we can release whichever position we are in. We are all going to meet in our pigeon with the palms of the hands on the floor. And to release out of this, we are going to start to send the hips forward a little bit. We're going to start to unravel the right leg, come back into our tabletop, and we're going to pop up for a little downward dog. So spread your fingertips nice and wide. We're going to tuck the toes underneath here. Send your hips back towards your heels. Strengthen out through your arms. Start to lift your hips. Send them back. Coming into your version of your downward facing dog. This is your first downward dog, so feel free to keep the knees bent if that's what feels good. But just breathe here. Think about reaching your sternum down towards the mat. If it feels good, we might take a little walk with the feet here, so we bend and straighten each knee, just walking the dog out a little bit. And then come back to stillness, back to our downward facing dog. Just take 3 full breaths here in your own time. Just 3 good ones, 3 good breaths. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to release, come on to the tippy toes. We're going to bring the knees back to the floor. And we're going to do the same little routine on the other side. So setting yourself up here from your tabletop. This time it is the left leg that is going to come out. So we're going to send the left leg out. We can keep the toes on the floor, or we can start to hover the toes. We're going to think about switching on through our core muscles, pulling our tummy button back towards our spine. Our leg can be lifted high or low, it doesn't matter, but we're going to stretch the toe away, point it away, make that leg as long as it can be. Almost like we were trying to reach the back wall with our toe. We're getting this big stretch in through the front of the left hip. Take a big inhale and a full exhale. And then we're going to see if we can bend that knee, bring it up towards the chest, and step that left foot in between the hands. Coming into our low lunge on this side. So set up your low lunge, set it up so that it's comfortable for you. This side could feel different from your other, so if we need to bring this back knee in, we can bring it in. If we need to send it out longer, we can send it out longer. Just work with your body here, see what you need. And then can we find a little bit of movement? So we're going to start to rock forwards and backwards with our hips. And it doesn't matter how straight that front leg goes, that's not the point. But we do want to feel a stretch through the front leg. We want to feel a stretch through both hips. Can we link up our breath here? So sending the hips back as we exhale, forward as we inhale. And then the next time that we exhale and we have the hips back, we are in our half splits. We are going to see how that would feel to stop and to hold it here. From here, we want to keep the spine nice and long. We want to feel a big stretch in through the left hamstrings. If it feels good, you can rock onto the heels so that the toes are flexed back towards your knee. And then maybe we even start to think about relaxing down over that leg. Nice. So pulling that left hip crease back, pushing the right hip crease forward, squaring off our hips with the front of our mat. We take a few deep breaths here into our hips. And then after your exhale, lifting the gaze, lifting the chest, sending your hips forward, bending the front knee, returning back into your low lunge. Nice. From here, can we inhale to reach those hands up? So challenging the balance a little bit as well. We can lower the hips. And then can we release the hands round behind our back? If we can we interlink the fingers? If we can we roll the shoulders back, open the chest? We're going to take the hands down towards the floor, maybe lift the hands away from the body, maybe even take the gaze up towards the sky here. We're here for 2 deep breaths. And then let's release the hands, bring the hands back into your low lunge, and then send your focus down towards your left foot. We're going to find our lizard posture on this side. So we're going to start to tiptoe that foot onto the outside of the left hand, and then just like before, set yourself up here. So there are different places that we can be. This side could be different from the other. So if this is enough, this is where you're going to stay. If it feels good to maybe roll the knee out, maybe come onto the pinky toe side of the left foot, we can do that. Maybe we drop down onto one elbow. Maybe we drop down onto 2 elbows. Wherever we are, we want to think about relaxing and releasing that left hip. Let gravity do the work here. Let gravity open that knee out towards the side. Keep your breath moving and flowing. And keep all of the muscles in and around that left hip calm and relaxed. One more big inhale here, full exhale, and then 2 release. Come back up onto the hands, come back onto the sole of the foot, and we're going to find our pigeon on this side. So we're going to start to tiptoe that left foot all the way across towards the right hand side of the mat. We're going to bend the knee, and we're going to bring the front or the bottom half of the left foot leg down and onto the mat. And then we're going to start to send the hips back, finding whatever feels good for you. And it doesn't matter how parallel this shin is with the front of the mat. It can be here, or it can be all the way back here where the heel is more in line with the groin. But wherever we are, we want to start to feel a big opening in through the left hip and also in through the front of the right hip as well. So keep breathing here. And then you pick where you want to be for this pigeon pose. So maybe we want to stay here with the chest lifted. Maybe we want to drop down onto the elbows. We might want to fold the arms in front, bring your forehead down onto the mat. Or maybe for that little bit of an extra twist, we can bring ourselves up. We can start to bend the right knee in. We can twist around, maybe take a hold of that foot, gently pulling it in, just feeling a little bit of a stretch in through the front of the right thighs. But wherever we are, wherever we've chosen to be, just keep breathing here. Keep breathing and keep releasing. We're here for our last couple of breaths. And then after your next exhale, release from whatever position you are in. Come all the way back to your pigeon on your hands. And we're going to come out of this a slightly different way this time. So we're going to see if we can sort of uncurl the lower half of the left leg so that the toes are pointing towards the back of the mat. We're going to come on to the tippy toes on the right foot and then send the left leg back so that we are in our plank pose here. Cool. From here, we're going to take a Chaturanga, so send the weight forward. As we exhale, bend the elbows, hug them in, lower down. As we inhale, open up into our upward facing dog. As we exhale, roll over the toes, send the hips up and back, coming into your downward facing dog. We're here for a few deep breaths. So keep pressing strong with the palms of the hands into the mat. Keep sending your chest down. Keep your neck nice and relaxed. Maybe give a little nod, shake of the head, just releasing any tension. And then coming back and into stillness for one big inhale. Full exhale. And then send your gaze up between your hands, take a bend through the knees, and then step or hop or walk all the way up to the top of your mat. Slowly release your upper body all the way up and into standing. From here, we're just going to get a little bit more of a stretch through the sides of the body. So take a nice big inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. We're going to take hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and we're going to cross the left toes towards the back of the right leg. So we have this little crisscross going on. We're going to take a big inhale to reach up high. As we exhale, can we keep the feet where they are? Can we reach up and over with the left hand? We're going to feel a big stretch coming in through the left hand side of the body. We're here for a few deep breaths. And then as we exhale, come back through center, bring the feet back to neutral. We're going to do the same thing other side. So take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. We're going to cross the right toes behind the left leg. Inhale to stand and reach tall. Exhale to find that side bend. So we're gently pulling the right arm over towards the left. We're feeling that opening all the way through the hip, the rib cage, the waist, the armpit. Take one big inhale here. Take a full exhale. And then release everything back through center. We're going to bring our hands onto a little bit lower than our lower back, so sort of where our sacrum would be. We're going to stand with our feet about hip distance apart, and we're going to roll the shoulders back. So it's almost like the elbows are trying to come together here. We're going to start to very gently press the hips forward. As we do that, we're going to keep rolling the shoulders back. We're going to keep opening the chest up towards the sky, and we're going to extend ourselves into a little back bend here, but keep your spine long. So again, imagine all that length in through the spine. We are moving up and back, shining our heart space up towards the sky. We're here for a big inhale, full exhale, and then coming back up through center. Take the hands up one more time on an inhale. As we exhale, palms come together, we hinge ourselves forwards, and we come all the way down into our forward fold. So your knees bent or straight, just dangling the upper body down over the legs, decompressing the spine. Arms are heavy, head is heavy. Just like we did in our downward dog, we can give a little shake of the head, a little nod of the head, and then come back to stillness for a big inhale, a full exhale, and then bend the knees, plant the hands onto the mat, and sit yourself all the way back and onto your mat. Nice. From here, we are all going to meet lying down on the mat. So it doesn't matter how we want to get there, but we're all going to come down onto the mat. When we arrive there, just hug the knees in towards the chest, and this is going to feel amazing after all of those back bends. So hugging the knees in, maybe finding a little rock from side to side. And then coming back to center, place the soles of the feet down onto the floor. And we're going to come into our 4 stretch here. So this is an amazing stretch for the upper half of our legs, for our psoas muscles, anyone who has sciatica, that type of thing. This is an excellent stretch for you. So we're going to keep the knees up towards the sky, soles of the feet are on the floor, and we'll start by bringing the right knee in. So we're going to bring the right knee in, we're going to flex the toes back towards the knee, and this is where the toes are going to stay throughout this entire stretch. We want to keep that foot active. We're going to start to turn and open the knee out towards the right hand side of the room and bring the ankle on top of the left knee. So that if we look down, it looks a little bit like a number 4, and that's why it is our 4 stretch. So if this is where you are good, you can stay here. You can use your right hand to gently open the knee out towards the side. If we want to go a little bit further, we can reach the hands up and take hold of the back of the left thigh and bring the left knee in towards the chest. We can even use this right elbow to gently open the right knee out towards the side. Just come to your limit here and send a few deep breaths into the leg. Keeping the toes flexed, keeping the feet active, ankles engaged. And then after your next exhale, we can release the sole of the left foot down to the floor if it's lifted, and then help the right foot to come all the way down as well. We're going to take the same thing other side, so this time the left knee coming in towards the chest. We're flexing those toes, we're pointing them back towards the knee, that's where they're going to stay, and then we're going to open that left knee out towards the left hand side of the room. We're going to bring the outside of the ankle onto the right knee, and here we are in our 4 stretch. Take a little look down, we should look like a little number 4 going on with our legs. And then if you wish, you can use your hand to gently open that knee a little bit further out towards the left. If we want to go a little further still, we can reach the hands up and underneath the right thigh, hug the right thigh in, and just breathe here. Notice this stretch. Notice which side for you was a little bit maybe tougher than one side. Maybe one side was a little bit tighter, maybe one was a little bit looser, but just notice how it feels. Notice where you're sending the breath here. Here for a few deep breaths. And then after your exhale, release that right foot back to the floor. We can help the left foot come back. Keep the knees up, take your feet to about mat distance apart, and then it's up to you whether you just want to leave the arms out towards the side, or maybe you want to come into your cactus arms here on the floor. Let the arms open up onto the floor, open through the chest, open through the shoulders, and nothing too fancy. We're just going to rock the knees side to side here. Just releasing any tension out of the hips, the low back. And then the next time that we have both knees up, we're going to stop. We're going to release the hands down by the sides. We're going to take one leg long and then the other. And feel free to close the eyes here. And just take a few deep breaths, just to allow everything to begin to slow and to calm down. Notice the breath slowing, the heart rate slowing. And if you wish to take a Shavasana, you can pause the video here and take your Shavasana now. If you wish to get up and go on about the rest of your day, you can gently, in your own time, just start to maybe roll yourself onto one side and then press yourself all the way up and into a comfortable seat on your mat. And if you have made it this far, thank you all very much for practicing with me. I hope you are feeling a lot looser than you were at the start of this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked, please give it a like. If you would like to see more, please subscribe. It is very, very appreciated. And whatever you're doing for the rest of your day, I hope you have a good one. Namaste.